What if I told you that trying to save money could actually be making you poorer? It sounds completely backward, I know. For years, we've been taught that cutting costs, pinching pennies, and living frugally is the ultimate path to financial freedom. But what if that's not the whole story? What if that relentless focus on saving is actually holding you back? Today, we're flipping that idea on its head. We're going to explore something I call the reverse budget, a concept that reveals why spending less can sometimes be your biggest financial mistake. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? You're tracking every dollar, you're saying no to brunches, you're buying the generic brand of everything, and yet you still feel stuck. You look at your bank account, and it's not growing the way you thought it would. You feel like you're on a financial treadmill, running hard but going nowhere. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. The problem might not be that you're not saving enough. The problem might be that you're saving on the wrong things. This is the frugality fallacy, the mistaken belief that every dollar saved is a dollar earned. But some dollars saved today can cost you $10 tomorrow. We're going to dive into how this happens and how to fix it. Let's start with the most important asset you have. No, it's not your house or your car. It's you. Your skills, your knowledge, your health. This is your human capital. And when you cut costs in this area, you're not saving money, you're eroding the very foundation of your ability to earn more in the future. Think about it. That online course or professional certification costs a few $100s. Your frugal brain says, nope, too expensive. I'll just watch free videos. But that certification could be the one thing that gets you a $10,000 raise or a promotion. By saving a few hundred now, you've potentially cost yourself tens of thousands over the next few years. You've capped your own earning potential. The same goes for skill-building workshops or industry conferences. Yes, there's an upfront cost, but the connections you make, the insights you gain, these are investments that can pay dividends for your entire career. Skipping them to save money is like a farmer eating their seeds to save on groceries. It solves a short-term problem, but creates a much bigger one down the line. And this isn't just about professional skills. It's about your health and wellness. We all know that a diet of cheap, processed food is less expensive than fresh, nutritious meals. We know that putting off a visit to the doctor or dentist saves us a copay right now. But what are the hidden costs? That cheap food leads to low energy, brain fog, and decreased productivity at work. Over time, it can lead to chronic health issues that come with massive medical bills that will dwarf any savings you made on groceries. Postponing the dental visit can turn a simple cavity into a root canal. Neglecting your mental health to save on therapy can lead to burnout, costing you your job and your well-being. Investing in your health, good food, exercise, preventative care isn't an expense. It's the most critical investment you can make for your long-term wealth and happiness. Next up, let's talk about the stuff we buy. This is where the old saying penny wise, pound foolish really comes to life. I call this the quality conundrum. We've all been there. You need a new blender. You see one for $20 and another for $100. The $20 one seems like a bargain. But 6 months later, the motor burns out. So you buy another $20 one. A year later, same thing. Meanwhile, the person who bought the $100 high-quality blender is still using it 10 years later, hassle-free. You've now spent $60 and a lot of frustration. And you'll probably have to buy another one soon. Who really saved money? This buy cheap. Buy twice phenomenon applies to everything. Cheap tools that break in the middle of a project. Fast fashion clothes that fall apart after 3 washes. Shoddy furniture that you have to replace every couple of years. When you invest in durable, efficient and well-made items, yes, the initial cost is higher, but you save money, time and stress in the long run. You're not constantly in a cycle of replacing things. Think about the opportunity cost, too. Every hour you spend shopping for a replacement for a cheap item that broke is an hour you could have spent on a side hustle with your family or learning a new skill that actually increases your income. True wealth isn't just about how much money you have. It is also about having the freedom and peace of mind that comes from not having to constantly deal with things that don't work. Buying quality is an act of respect for your future self. Now, let's discuss one of the biggest and most invisible costs of hyper-frugality, lost opportunities. When your mindset is exclusively focused on cutting costs, your brain becomes wired to see risk everywhere and opportunity nowhere. You become so afraid of losing $1 that you fail to see the chance to make 10. For example, maybe an opportunity comes up to invest in a friend's promising startup, or to buy into the stock market during a dip. But your frugal mindset screams, no, that's risky. Keep that money safe in a savings account. So you do, and you earn less than 1% interest while that investment opportunity could have doubled or tripled your money. Your fear of spending prevented you from taking a calculated risk that could have led to significant financial growth. This isn't about being reckless, it's about understanding that sometimes you have to spend money to make money, and it goes beyond just financial investments. What about life experiences? That trip you decided was too expensive could have been a source of inspiration for a new business idea or given you a new perspective that boosted your creativity and productivity. Extreme budgeting also has a serious psychological toll. The constant stress of saying no and worrying about every penny can lead to decision fatigue and burnout. This mental exhaustion makes you less effective at your job, less creative in your side hustles, and less present in your relationships. You miss out on the very joy and fulfillment that money is supposed to help you achieve. The goal isn't to die with the biggest bank account, it's to live a rich life. And sometimes that means spending money on experiences that enrich you as a person. So, how do we fix this? How do we escape the frugality trap and start building real, sustainable wealth? The answer is to reverse the reverse budget. It's about shifting your mindset from how can I spend less to how can I spend smarter. This is the core of strategic spending. Strategic spending means you don't just see price tags, you see value. Before you spend money, ask yourself a different set of questions. Instead of just asking, can I afford this? Ask, will this purchase generate long-term value? Value can be financial, like a course that increases your income. It can be time-saving, like a quality appliance that frees up your schedule. It can be health-related, like a gym membership that boosts your energy and reduces future medical costs. Or it can be experiential, like a trip that recharges your soul and expands your mind. Here's some actionable advice. Divide your expenses into two categories: value-adding expenditures and wasteful spending. Wasteful spending is money that just disappears with little to no long-term benefit. Think daily $5 coffees, subscription services you don't use, or impulse buys on things you don't need. This is the stuff you should be ruthless about cutting. But value-adding expenditures are investments. These are things like education, high-quality tools for your work, health and wellness, networking events, and durable goods. This is where you should be willing to spend, and even spend generously, because you know the return on investment will be massive. The goal of the reverse budget isn't to encourage reckless spending. It's to be intentional. It's about giving yourself permission to invest in your own growth, your own health, and your own happiness. So, I challenge you to take a look at your budget this week. But don't just look for things to cut. Look for opportunities to invest. Where can you spend a little more now to get a much bigger return in the future? Stop thinking like a penny pincher and start thinking like a strategic investor in your own life. That's the real secret to building lasting wealth. Thanks so much for watching. If this video flipped your perspective on budgeting, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges conventional financial wisdom. Let me know in the comments one area where you plan to invest in yourself. See you in the next one.